Pledge, turn on your mics. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Lord, we lift up our sailors, soldiers, airmen, Marines, and guardsmen, police officers and firefighters into your loving care. Protect our nation from that is all evil. Guide our way through these difficult times. Amen.
Amen. All right, we will begin with roll call. Mr. Resnick?
Here.
Mr. Braun?
Here.
Chair is present. Ms. Borelli?
Here.
Mr. Gorman?
Here.
Mr. Cannon?
Present.
Mr. Swan?
Here.
Mr. Fagioli?
Here.
Okay. Let the record show everyone is here. Next is citizens' participation. If you have a comment on agenda items, you may come up. We have 3 minutes. Please give your name and address. Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on. I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes for the April 15th council meeting.
I'll make a motion.
All right, Mr. Fagioli made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Gorman seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next is the reports of the borough officers. We'll begin with the financial advisor.
Thank you, Madam President. You all have received the reports. I have nothing else more to add to it unless anybody has any questions.
Any questions for the financial advisor? All right, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to accept the financial advisor's report
So moved.
and pay the bills. Yes?
Yes.
I'll second.
Okay, so Mr. Cannon made the motion, Mr. Resnick seconded. We'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Resnick?
Yes.
Mr. Braun?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Ms. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Gorman?
Yes.
Mr. Cannon?
Yes.
Mr. Swan?
Yes.
Mr. Fagioli?
Yes.
Motion carries. Now we have the police chief's report.
Madam President, a couple things. First, from the police department, last week was National Police Officers Week. Councilman Gorman was kind enough to provide 4 of my squads with lunch 2 days last week. I want to express from the officers their appreciation to Councilman Gorman for doing that. Second thing is last month we participated in the PennDOT aggressive driving campaign. It was a funded program from PennDOT, putting extra officers on the street just to go after aggressive driving techniques, whether that be running red light stop signs, following too closely. We are now in the midst of joining PennDOT in the Click It or Ticket campaign, which is going to run until June 12th. Again, that's a PennDOT funded campaign where we're putting extra officers on the street to specifically look for primary and seatbelt violations. Both of those programs added officers to the street with an overtime expense that was covered by the PennDOT funding. Other than that, my written report stands as it says, and that's all we got for the month.
Any questions for the chief? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to accept the police chief's report.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Swan made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Fagioli seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Fire chief's report.
Oh, yeah. I didn't say that.
Okay. Any questions for the fire chief? I'll entertain a motion to accept the fire chief's report.
So moved.
Mr. Gorman made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Resnick seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is the engineer's report.
JP, because we moved the meeting, is at a previous scheduled hearing that he had to attend. He has some items on the agenda that I have that we'll be bringing up. One thing we want to note is that there will be a future road closure on Springfield Road between Springfield Road and Oak between 9 and 3. This is to permit the contractor to be working in the center of the road with the heavy equipment and avoiding flagmen. They wish to go to Oak Avenue. The chief and I are working with PennDOT to limit that to Sycamore. we believe that above Sycamore, it's kind of wide enough that they could use flagmen one lane at a time. Down further, it's narrow between the houses on both sides. So that's one issue. The second issue is we are in a dispute with PennDOT and the school district over curbs and sidewalks south of Sycamore Road to Baltimore Pike, where they feel that they can accomplish installing the pipe close enough to the curb that it shouldn't cause an issue. JP, myself, and the district are to dispute whether you can accomplish that. I don't see, my personal experience and opinion is, I don't see any reason that putting inlets in without curbing accomplishes anything with the flooding, considering, especially after last week when we had the Nile River go down Springfield Road. So we will continue on that approach. JP is in communication. I'm in communication with the secretary. We have a consultant that's working with us, and we expect to be in a meeting very quickly with PennDOT and District 6 in King of Prussia to continue that discussion. So, but the main discussion is the road closures will have a 2-week notice. The residents along there, Suzanne's already had some dates for the residents that are affected by that. The one thing that is important to note, and Timmy can emphasize that, is when there's a road closure between 2 points, if you're inside the zone, if I'm correct, you can come in and come out. They'll have the outside blocked, and then interiorly where the construction is, you can't go into the construction zone. But let's say they're in front of, 15 Springfield Road, you can come down Summit and make a left to go out to Oak or go out to Church. You can walk, you can meander through there as a resident. It's just to stop the movement of traffic coming north and south on Springfield Road into the construction zone. This will be an inconvenience, but it's a short term. We would be there probably 8 to 9 months if there was flagmen out there, and they would like to accomplish this before the winter months. So that's why Tim and I have been working aggressively with them and PennDOT for the road closure plan. So any questions on that, we'll deal with it as they come in. You can call the office anytime. And that's JP has some advertisements that we'll bring up under the manager's report.
Okay. So are we going to vote on an engineer's report, or are we going to vote for it all under the manager's report?
Just vote for under the manager's.
All right. Next is the solicitor's report.
Madam President, I don't have any action items this evening. I'm happy to answer any questions as we get to the manager's report from some of the items that we've worked on there. And then just to follow up on the police chief's report, we do have, in response to council's request to the Civil Service Commission to schedule a new test to create a new list for patrol officers. The Civil Service Commission did authorize that, worked with the chief. We have advertisements that are running in the Daily Times at this point, asking or offering for people to apply for the position. And I believe the test is June
21st.
21st. So there are applications that are available online on the website. Here at the borough, must be turned in.
By the June 13th. So just so it's on the record, the requirements for being able to apply for this position is at least 21 years old, must have the police academy already finished or finished by time of appointment. And the apps can be found on our website, www.cliftonheightspolice.com, and also picked up in person at the police department. The applications will close on June 13th at 4 p.m. So if anybody knows of a relative, family member, or whatever, we'd like to see a big turnout. Unfortunately, after the Summer of Love several years ago, the turnout for law enforcement related entry exams is very, very, very low. We would like to see a bigger pool, but we can do with what we get.
All right. Any questions regarding the solicitor's report? All right. I'll entertain a motion to accept the solicitor's report.
So moved.
All right, Mr. Gorman made the motion. Mr. Resnick seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Community development and code enforcement.
Thank you, Madam President. I do not have any additions to my prepared report this evening.
Any questions for Mr. Gould? I'll entertain a motion to accept the community development and code enforcement report.
So moved.
All right, Mr. Cannon made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Gorman seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is the manager's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The first item is last week at the caucus, 2 weeks ago with the caucus, we spoke about 2 vacant lots over on Maple Terrace. One of the lots is owned by the borough, and we would like to authorize the advertisement and receipt of bids for sale of 15 Maple Terrace at fair market value. Anybody has any questions? The solicitor gave a very good explanation last meeting, so I'm not sure if anybody has any questions. John, I have a question. How long would that be? 30 days?
At least 30 days. I mean, I would think we would advertise. I mean, we're only required to do it once,
Okay.
but, to get as best a bid we can, I mean, we would do it a couple of times.
Okay. And you'll handle that, right?
I have a question. What's the size of the lot?
It's
I mean,
25 by
is it-
125.
It's not enough to build anything on it, is it, or just?
Give me a second, I'll look it up if you want to move on.
It's a small lot. I mean, I think it's similar to those lots that are on that street, the twins that were there. It's
Half of a twin.
Yeah, I mean, it's
25 by about 125. John and I looked at a little bit of zoning. If they wanted to do it individually as a single, they would probably have to go to zoning for setbacks.
I would think that any proposed construction of a single family home there would have to go to zoning.
But it's.
'Cause it doesn't meet our current setback.
Is that residential or is that commercial?
It is, I believe it's still in the residential area. It just is outside of the commercial area. I don't know, John, if you know, does the commercial
you.
spill over to the,
No, I believe that, I'd have to double check, but I believe that is still in the R1 zoning district.
Yeah.
Jumps
The
over.
records show that there was a house there at one time previously,
I'm
quite a while
sure,
ago.
I'm sure there was a twin there. There was a connected, a connected house, and I don't know what, probably a fire, or it fell into disrepair and it was removed. And for whatever reason, the one on the left, I guess you would call it 17, is owned by the County Redevelopment Authority. The one on the right is owned by the borough, 15 Maple. So how they came to,
Split the pie.
Mm-hmm.
come into that way, I have no idea. Wouldn't hazard a guess.
According to tax records here, it looks like it is, it's saying irregular by 107.49, so. I'm gonna guess
It's probably only about
25.
20 feet wide. I
That
mean,
would be my guess, by 107 feet long.
I would expect the commercial property owner at the corner there of Maple and Baltimore to bid on it. I mean, that was sort of the impetus of why it was that, we're doing this, is that, well, 2 reasons. Number one, like I said, that owner had inquired about purchasing it from the borough, but we're not permitted to just simply sell a piece of land. It's got to be bid out. And number 2 is that there was a tree on the property. At the rear of the property is the back wall of a garage that's on Penn Street, right?
Mhm.
And that tree was growing in such a way that, it looked like it was starting to cause problems for that wall. So the borough did take the tree down. So,
So if it's zoned residential,
Mhm.
they would have to go to the zoning board to try to change it so they could build something like a garage or a small garage for storage?
Or parking.
No?
they would.
Okay. That's,
I just did some further research. The one owned by Delaware County next door is 29 feet wide, so I'm gonna imagine it's about
Yeah,
approximately 29.
in our code, anything that they would do to expansion of a use or a different use, they'd have to provide a proper buffering from the residential section.
If they wanted to use it as a commercial and it's in a residential zone, they would need variance to do that. Not sure, other than parking, what needs, it's sort of being utilized for parking now. But I guess just to formalize things. That's what he wants to do. And, you know, we told that owner he would have to bid on it, and it would have to be at a fair market value. Like I said, we're going to go out. I don't think that we need to spend thousands of dollars on a full blown appraisal of a undersized building like Clifton. But we could probably get a realtor's, suggestion of value there. There's,
So this is the existing property line right here. So there's 2 lots between here and this fence. Approximately the center line would be the divider between the 2 lots.
Just so everyone understands, we have a multitude of lots throughout the borough that are either given to us because of taxes or abandoned. Unfortunately, we had 2 go up on sale today. The fire that we had on South Diamond Street, about a year or 2 years ago, to burn to the ground. That was demolished. We demolished it. We got reimbursed for the demolish. Vacant lot is now sold to two people. I think 2 people. got it.
One individual. bought
One
both.
individual bought both of them. So hopefully that'll put the housing stock back up and get some tax money in. There's some other parcels around town that are just sitting there, and they become a nuisance. We're responsible, just like any other property owner out there. Tree falls down, we got to cut the tree cut down. Grass gets high, we got to have the grass cut. Where James has to go out there. People dump on some of them. So as we're looking at them, we have a whole file of them. If we have an opportunity to develop it, it doesn't cause problems in the community. I think we come to council as we get them and try to see what we can do to put them back on the tax rolls. That was it.
Any other?
One more question. The business owner that's interested and has the establishment right next to it, it's an auto shop, correct?
No,
No, this is for the Service Master.
Oh, okay, Service Pro? Okay. That
Speak to
kind of answers
property,
my
sorry.
question, because I had concern that if it was an auto shop, that would become, a dumping ground for,
Service Pros keeps their properties pretty
right.
tough.
Used to be Roman's Furniture, put the carpeting in there
Mhm.
before.
Yeah, you're going back.
Yeah.
That was all.
Any other questions about this item? All right, I'll entertain a motion to authorize the advertisement and receipt of bids for sale of 15 Maple Terrace at fair market value.
I'll make that motion.
All right, Mr. Fagioli made a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cannon seconded. Do we need a roll call for this?
No.
Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Next is a motion to approve a SEPTA funding resolution that was prepared. We have the resolution. John? No resolution?
I don't have the resolution.
That was for John. You had brought that up, John. I didn't have a sample of it. So we did put it on the agenda. Maybe we authorize that the president, council, and council send a letter supporting the funding of the resolution. Basically, the request to Senator Kearney is requesting, and there's standard resolution throughout the county, John, on the county website. If we could just get approval that have that authorized, and we'll send it as behalf of the borough. And Chris can send it out if that's,
I thought I saw the letter circulate.
yeah,
Okay.
I apologize. I thought.
I'm sorry. I thought
Yeah,
that's
no.
what we're.
It's okay, crossover. So
So I'll entertain a motion to authorize the borough to send a letter supporting the SEPTA funding resolution from council.
So moved.
All right, Mr. Cannon made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Resnick seconded. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
the next motion I'll read, and I'd like to have the solicitor explain it. We did talk about the ambulance situation in Clifton Heights and the great effort that Clifton went and working together with the borough. We have a status of a successful contract, but a motion to approve the contract between the Borough of Clifton Heights, the Clifton Heights Fire Company, and STAT with a temporary loan for startup cost at $300,000, subject to the solicitor's approval. John, you want to expand on how that latchkey works as far as the money?
Yes. So right now there is a contract between the fire company and Crozier for the provision of those services. Initially, when STAT came in and there was involvement in terms of STAT stepping into the shoes of Crozier and providing the staffing services for the ambulance. they were just going to assign that contract to Stat. With Stat taking on a lot more work now because of the Crozier closure, they had indicated to the fire company and to the borough that they needed some type of advance in order to do the startup. And again, the model here is that when they do the work, the fire company bills for it, and there is a percentage share between both the staffing provider and the fire company. Typically, it takes, a couple of or several months to get paid by the insurance companies, by Medicare, Medicaid, what have you, for services that are, provided starting whenever Stat did. So in order to fill that gap, what we've talked about is that we would advance the $300,000 to the fire company with a promise of repayment for those funds from the fire company as the payments come in. So instead of there being revenue sharing with Stat during these first several months, the fire company would receive 100% of the revenue that would be coming in, which would then get repaid to the borough until the $300,000 is paid off. And at that point, it would pick up like normal. So in essence, it's in the banking world, a capital operating or an operating, advance. So we would, we're putting together the contract. We just want to make sure certainly the borough's money is protected. We would take a security interest, as they call it, in the funds that come in. And the fire company is not going to just hand the money over to Stat. Stat will provide their operating expenses, which is mostly payroll, to the fire company. The fire company will review it, and if it appears good, they'll release those funds to Stat as we go along. So that there's not a chance that $300,000 is going to get handed over to Stat and they go out of business in 2 weeks. So the borough will be protected, the fire company will be protected, and we have what appears to be a good new company coming in to fill in for Crozier Services, and we hope it works as well as, quite honestly, it did with Crozier, up until they closed. So that's what we're requesting.
So I've been in contact. It was seamless right through. Spell any rumors or whatever. There was an accident on Thursday, I believe, en route to a child in respiratory distress in Upper Darby. The ambulance had damage, but fortunately, the two occupants from Stat are doing well, and the person that they hit is okay. So it's just an insurance claim at this point. But Stat is in full operation, and their backup ambulance is on the street. I saw it out there 2 or 3 times today, actually. So fortunately, it was a great transition that, the borough's fortunate that we were able to have the fire company have the relationships, and the borough had the relationships to be able to make this happen. So if we can approve it, we can start the funding. They're already into a week's worth of payroll, I would think. 2 weeks. Yeah.
Almost seamless. There's been a few open shifts
Right.
as they hire people, but it's
Man, they're mostly the older, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say older. They change over. There's a lot of Crozier people who wanted to stay here, which is a good thing for the fire company. Statement for you for your cooperation with it was. I heard on the street that they wanted to stay with Clifton. So that's great. So motion to approve that if we could.
Any questions before we do a motion? All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the contract between the Borough of Clifton Heights, the Clifton Heights Fire Company, and Stat, including the temporary loan for startup at $300,000, subject to the solicitor's approval.
I will make a motion.
Mr. Resnick made the motion. Mr. Gorman, would you like to second it? And then we'll do a roll call. Mr. Resnick?
Yes.
Mr. Braun?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Ms. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Gorman?
Yes.
Mr. Cannon?
Yes.
Mr. Swan?
Yes.
Mr. Fagioli?
Yes.
Motion carries.
The next motion up, at the caucus, we did speak about a KPM or CoStar's purchase of equipment. After that meeting, a lot of the council people that will be attending the borough's conference on June the 1st discussed it. There's 4 or 5 vendors up there, so we thought it'd be prudent that it'd probably be best the mayor, a couple of the council people, we sit down with a couple of those vendors and make sure we're getting, even though CoStar's is a direct purchase, you don't have to bid. It's probably financially prudent for the cost of, I think it was over $160,000 or something, to see. A lot of times they have show specials of, discounts. And we don't think it's going, and they're all CoStar's, by the way, so we don't think it's for the 2 weeks that we have to wait. At that point, we can get some pricing. However, we want to get started. That equipment lays over top of the project, meaning that we do the work and then they come in and put it on top. So we want to have a motion to authorize the advertisement of Glenwood Avenue project and Diamond Street Recreation Project, Children's Playground, Pickleball Court, and Dog Park. JP has the plans ready to go out for bid, and we'd like to get those bids started.
Any questions
Advertisement.
before we make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to authorize the advertisement of the Glenwood Avenue project, the Diamond Street Recreation Project, Children's Playground, Pickleball Court, and Dog Park.
I'll do it.
Hey, you can do it. I'll make the motion.
Mr.
Again.
Cannon makes the
Again.
motion. Do I have
I'll
a second? Mr. Fagioli seconded. We'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Resnick?
Yes.
Mr. Braun?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Ms. Borelli? Yes. Mr. Gorman?
Yes.
Mr. Cannon?
Yes.
Mr. Swan? Mr. Fagioli?
Yes.
All right, motion carries.
Next up, I have a letter here from Ed Jones, our Planning Commission. Please accept this letter as my formal resignation from my position on the Planning Commission. As you may know, I will be relocating to a new place. The move is necessary for me and my family. And unfortunately, it means I will need to resign from my position on the Planning Commission. I'd like to express my gratitude for the opportunity and experiences I've had during my time on the Commission Board. I learned so much and developed valuable skills that I will carry with me in the future. Edward Jones. We'll miss you there, Ed, just let you know that. So need a motion to accept that resignation?
Makes me very sad to do this, but I'll entertain a motion to accept the resignation with regret of Ed Jones from the Clifton Heights Borough Commission.
Madam Chair, I do have a question.
Yes.
Since Mr. Jones was so active with the July 4th celebration and the parade, have you found a replacement for that, Ed? For you doing that job?
That he can say. Yeah, we had.
He's not resigning from that.
He's not
He's
gonna-
He will not accept that resignation.
Just for clarity.
That resignation, we will not.
John will back up with this. The Borough Code requires that the Planning Commission, zoning officers, and council people must be residents of Clifton.
Right.
The 4th of July Committee is exempt from that rule.
Very good.
Just so we're clear.
Very good.
Yeah, so, all right, we're glad we cleared that up for this year. All right. No, you're,
I don't want to lose you, Ed.
no illusion. And that would leave a vacancy. We'd like to make a motion to approve the appointment of Erica Schneider to Clifton Heights Planning Commission. She lives in the 3rd Ward, and we do not have anyone from the 3rd Ward on the Planning Commission. She has desire and interest for that, so.
All right, so first I'll entertain a motion regarding the resignation of Ed Jones. Do I have a motion for that?
I'll make the motion with the regret.
All right. Mr. Gorman made the motion.
I'll second.
Ms. Briley seconded. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you, Ed. And then I will entertain a motion to appoint Erica Schneider to the Clifton Heights Planning Commission.
I'll make that motion.
All right, Ms. Borelli made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Gorman seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Final motion is a motion to authorize council members to attend the Boroughs Association Conference, which includes the mayor as well, in Hershey, PA, and obtain reimbursement for costs as permitted under the Pennsylvania Borough Code. It's an annual motion.
I will entertain a motion to authorize borough council members and the mayor to attend the Borough Association Conference in Hershey, PA, and obtain reimbursement costs as permitted by Pennsylvania Borough Code.
So moved.
All right, Mr. Gorman made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Resnick seconded. Do we need roll call for this?
Yeah.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
My final, we have, fortunately, yesterday, after a delivery to the post office on May the 4th, the newsletter finally arrived yesterday, which is the second time. Post office has made a new rule that everything has to go to Philadelphia. So if somebody down there punches the wrong zip code, it could end up in Minnesota or wherever it's at. We've expressed a concern about that. I had a meeting with the postmaster here. We were prepared to write a whole print another newsletter and get it through Clifton Heights Post Office by showing that we paid for it at the media location where the permit went out and where the printer is. However, right before pushing the presses, I was sitting here at the election and somebody came up and said it was delivered. So we were fortunate we didn't have to pay twice. We are submitting a reimbursement for the mail because it is guaranteed for 7 days. It went out first class, and that's another problem. We do a first class because if you do it the other way, it could take 20 days to get here. We are working with the post office to get it done. Fortunately, it got out because in that is the Memorial Day celebration that we have every year, and that was the target date. We pick a date and we try to do it so far in advance. In May 1st, there will be another mailing coming out for the 4th of July with the parade route and some information President has on some movie nights in there, some dates. So a lot of the stuff is date certain. It really messes us up when it causes a lot of sleepless nights when that kind of money sitting out on the street and it's sitting in some truck someplace that's not delivered. So I checked around. Everybody in the borough did receive it. So a lot of good information in there this time. The last item I have is we're still waiting on one or two of the 501c3s. My intent is to bring that to council in the first meeting of June, and we'll put the numbers out through Cindy's office. We'll work on the numbers, and then hopefully the awards will go out at the end of the month in June, at the council meeting. So anybody? That was it.
Any questions for the borough manager?
Madam President, Tom, if you could let the council know about the discrepancy in the Daily Times.
Oh, yeah. Today in the Daily Times, they had that the memorial service is 11 o'clock. It's always been 10 o'clock. It's advertised in the newsletter 10 o'clock, and the American Legion has verified it as 10 o'clock. So I think Timmy may be able to put a shout out maybe on
Yeah, we'll put it out on social media.
just so somebody doesn't stand there, come after the late. So
They don't know where the information was changed at because
nobody does. Yeah.
the paper did not speak to.
I checked that 4 times before it was put it out because that's a very important date. Any of those dates and times you got to verify because once you put it out, you can't pull it back. So the other thing we are trying to do in the newsletter is trying to get it graphically on the website and on it's difficult because of the way the page is. So we're working on some programming. The printer is to be able to load that up as well. So that was it.
Any questions regarding the manager's report?
Just, I want to back up and ask Tom one question. Rock, you maybe answer this too. When they block Springfield Road, will they also detour traffic to somewhere, somehow, so to expedite movement? Because in today's world,
Well, if you
people
look
get
around the
lost
neighborhood,
really.
the problem with the neighborhood we have now is there's a detour every block. So a PennDOT has to detour to a state highway. They cannot detour through any of the borough roads. So it'll be a detour Baltimore Pike to Oak North to Springfield, coming Springfield South. It'll be Oak Avenue South to Baltimore Pike West or East. So that's how they do it.
And will the contractor be responsible to have a flag man out there, Tom?
Don't believe they're putting it. That's why they're avoiding it. There'll be a blockage of the road.
Okay.
We'll have police there. We're still finalizing those details at the start when the barricade comes across or whatever they're going to put there. They'll have police car assigned, which will back charge the contractor. And then when they bring them out at 3 o'clock, just to keep so everyone doesn't come all at one time. but I imagine it's not going to be a fun summer. I mean, it is what it is, whether it's flagmen. We believe, Timmy and I, not to criticize flagmen, but it causes more of a problem and confusion with flagmen, with hold-on times, especially that close to the red light and green light at Baltimore Pike, having a flagman holding traffic, you can end up with an intersection accident. So Timmy and I are the one that really pushed for the road closure between the three. And
That light there functioning and the amount of traffic goes through that intersection, both Baltimore and Springfield Road, that even attempted to do that as with a single leg flagman would have been a bigger nightmare than the short road closure. Because they're jumping the road closure. So while the whole length of Springfield Road will be closed, they're only be working within 30
feet, 40 feet a day.
So local traffic won't be terribly affected. It's going to be affected, but not terribly affected. And the detour route from Baltimore to Oak to Springfield is very easy. And I think shortly after the detour is in place, people are just going to know that second name.
We're going to keep a real close eye on the cut-through streets, Penn, those just Timmy's going to be aggressive on stop signs and things like that. People do tend to find, the shorter distance between two places. Timmy hasn't been able to get home in 6 months.
Yeah, they've had Providence and Oak shut down since Christmas.
I'm sure I'll hear from John McLean coming north on Springfield Road in the morning as well. That's all I have, Madam Chair.
Any questions for the manager? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to accept the manager's report.
I'll make that motion.
All right, Mr. Fagioli made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Gorman seconded it. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, we have council reports now. Mr. Swan?
Of anything at this time.
Okay, Mr. Resnick?
I have nothing.
Mr. Fagioli?
Yeah, on June 5th, there's a new law that'll be out to ban drivers from holding cell phones or other devices while driving on the highway. Chief has anything to add on to that?
I forget the name of the law that was named Paul Miller possibly.
Yeah, something like that.
As a result of a truck driver using a non-hand-free device, took the life of another motorist. And that's who that law is made, is passed after. We've seen a very big increase, as everybody else probably noticed themselves, of, people on the phone at red lights, and in the flow of traffic. This prohibits even the use of a hands-on device while stopped at a red light. If you're in traffic, it's still a violation at this point. So a lot of good can come out of it for pedestrian and motor safety. And we will put that in our checkbox of our aggressive traffic campaigns.
The other thing is Memorial Day's come up. Wish everybody a happy Memorial Day, but on that day, it's a remembrance and honor of those who died in services for our country. That's all I got.
All right, thank you. Mr. Cannon?
Nothing.
Mr. Braun?
Just like to thank Ed, personally thank Ed for what he's done, and we really appreciate it.
Ms. Burley?
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Gorman?
Nothing, thank you.
Okay. So we have 2 dates picked out for outdoor nighttime movie nights, the Borough parking lot, the 13th of June and August 22nd. They're both Fridays. So look for more information as we get closer to those dates. 4th of July parade planning is, well underway. When's the next meeting, Ed? Tuesday.
This Tuesday, so.
Okay, so after Memorial Day, so Tuesday, the 27th?
27th.
All right, Tuesday, the 27th at the Broadway at 7 o'clock. So anyone who's interested in joining and helping with the planning of the parade? Yes. So yeah, Tuesday, the 27th at 7 o'clock at the Broadway. All right. And that's all I have. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you, Madam President. I only have 2 things. I do also want to personally thank Ed Jones for his commitment to the Planning Commission. It's going to be a great loss. And I do want to thank you for hanging in there for the July 4th too. It's really important. And then just another reminder, it's been said a couple times, but this Monday, May the 26th is our Memorial Day event, and it starts at 10 o'clock a.m. sharp. So if you guys can make it on that Monday, that would be great to honor all those veterans that gave their lives for our country. That's it for me, Madam President. Thank you.
Okay. Any old business to come before the body? Any new business? All right, we will close with public participation. You may come up, address, please give your name and address first, and you have 3 minutes. All right, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
I'll make that motion.
All right, Ms. Burley made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Fagioli seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye.